I cannot be the only one that was cringing a little bit when we saw Mafer singing at Silvia's birthday the same song that she had sang to Gerardo in the pods. I was trying not to get secondhand embarrassment, you guys. It was too much. I feel like watching people sing on TV just me da un poquito como de ansiedad. Like, I can't do it. Welcome back to the Dose of Morning Chisme, you guys. I am so happy that you're here and if you have decided to click on my video. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We talk about all things reality TV, pop culture, and celebrity news. If you end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe for future videos. Okay, you guys, today we're going to be talking about Love is Blind Mexico. I have been so invested. I have already done a recap of episodes 1 through 4. If you have not watched it, please make sure to give it a watch if you want to enjoy my recap and my crazy thoughts. Honestly, I'm all over the place when it comes to this. I just feel like there's so many things to talk about. It's hard to keep them all in one place. But today we're going to be talking about episodes 5 through 8. There is so much going on in this series and I'm honestly enjoying it more than I have with other seasons. Like, usually with the USA version, I'm like, okay, it's pretty good, but it takes off a little slower. With Mexico, we're getting the drama right away. So let's go ahead and dive into it. Let's talk about the couples, and obviously let me know your thoughts in the comments. Okay, so in episode 5, we see the couples in Tulum, right? So they're getting to know each other after the reveal and knowing everybody else as well. They're getting to see the other couples, which I think is crazy. And I had mentioned this in my other video. Like, not only are you seeing the person that you were connecting with for the very first time, like essentially your fiance, and you're also seeing the other people in the pods that you had connected with. And obviously they're connecting, they're getting to know each other, and they're also talking to each other. And we had learned in the last episode that Chema and Franchesca had known each other previously, right? And something that I had noticed that had not sat well with me is how everyone's kind of talking about Silvia behind her back, which does not, I do not like that, because I feel like Silvia, out of everybody on the show, is the most likable. She is, I feel like, objectively everybody's favorite from what I have seen so far. So the fact that people are talking about her, and what they're implying is that she's not Chema's type because she's fat. Like, they're saying that without saying it, but from where? This woman is gorgeous. 1, she's gorgeous. 2, she's a model, okay? And 3, I feel like everyone is good looking, but Silvia is gorgeous in my eyes. Like, of course, beauty is subjective, but the fact that they're like throwing little shade here and there at her is not sitting well with me. But let's go ahead and talk about Chema and Silvia first. As you guys know, these two had a pretty great connection in the pods. We're seeing them, get along outside of the pods, and now besides Tulum, they're going to go ahead and meet, their families and go and live into an apartment together, which I think living in the apartment together really is when they decide, like, is this going to be for us? Is this not going to be for us? Because they're meeting each other's families. They're living in the same space. Like, they're about to get married in a very quick minute. So being able to be comfortable around each other in a vacation is a very different setting than it is in an apartment. So they get an apartment. They meet Silvia's mom, who's lovely. I feel like she was so lovely when she was having a conversation with them. I felt like it was just so kind and nice. Like, usually I love seeing the Love is Blind cast meet each other's families, but like, it just hits different with the Mexico edition. I don't know how to explain it, but I just loved watching them meet each other's families. It was just like so nice. And I feel like Silvia's mom was just so lovely. I felt like she was such a nice lady. And it makes me mad because I don't think that Silvia and Chema are going to work out, unfortunately. But I feel like Silvia really is that girl on the show. So I really hope that if she doesn't end up working out with Chema, that she does find someone that's really amazing, because she is, in my eyes, the best addition on the show. Like, the best one. I feel like she's so nice. She's so lovely. And the things that people have been saying behind her back are just like not sitting well with me. So we see them, meet the friends, meet the family. Everything ends up going well for them. And then we see them at Silvia's birthday. So at Silvia's birthday, Fernanda had not shown up, which did I miss something on that where like Fernanda and Silvia like were having beef? Because I did not see any of that. So for her not to show up to the birthday with Gerardo was a little off for me. Like, I feel like we skipped a bunch of time that we didn't see something happen, but they're at Silvia's birthday. It ends up being a surprise. Like, her and Chema are having dinner and everybody comes in and surprises Silvia or whatever. And then a random ass dude, I guess he was in the pods, decides to stand up and have a conversation about how Chema had mentioned like the stereotypical woman that he goes for in the real world outside of Love is Blind, and that how Silvia doesn't look like that. And when I tell you, jaw on the floor, girl, jaw on the floor. I was like, why would you say that? Period. And then why would you say that's somebody's birthday? Like, it was literally Silvia's birthday and this man decided to make this known. It was just very, very strange. I did not like that. And then Chema, instead of like reassuring her in that moment that like, you know, whatever, like the comment didn't mean anything, he decided to double down and mention that he did not like the way she looked at the reveal, which was, you know, really annoying to see. I was like, ew. Like, he was like, I didn't like your lashes, I didn't like your outfit, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. And it was like, oh. And you could definitely see that Silvia was like thrown back by it, because like, who wouldn't? So it was just like hurtful to see that he said that to her, because I was like, okay. Not to make this about looks, because, you know, beauty is subjective, sure. Like, you can think someone's beautiful and I can think they're ugly, vice versa. But I thought it was just really bold for him to say that in front of people at her birthday when Silvia's a dime plus 99. So, I don't know. It didn't sit well with me. I don't know how I feel about them as a couple anymore. I think that Chema and Silvia's connection in the pods was very strong. But now outside of the pods, seeing how he was so, you know, like, open to talk about her like that, and everybody else decided to make comments as well, was weird. It just doesn't make me feel like he wants to be with her, like, if I'm being honest. Like, even when they sat down with his friends and her friend, like his friend and her friend, his friend was like, oh, usually Chema goes with like skinny girls and blah blah blah. Like, why are y'all bringing this up? He is obviously engaged to Silvia. Like, what is the relevancy of these comments? And I feel like to say that on TV is just so hurtful, because obviously we're seeing Silvia live the moment, but she's not hearing the confessionals like we are. You know what I mean? Like, we're seeing the entire thing, and she's seeing everything from her POV. And like I mentioned in my other recap, this is going to be very chaotic, so keep that in mind. But do I think that Chema and Silvia are going to get married? I do not. No. I don't like the way he talked about her. I don't like the way his friends talked about her. Also, his mom kind of degrading her by saying that she doesn't have a real job because she's a plus-size model. I thought that was a bit rude. I understand, you know, being worried when it comes to your son and all that stuff, but like, I feel like that was a little mean and unnecessary. So do I think, my prediction for these two, I don't think they're going to end up getting married. I think that Silvia deserves better. I think that it's going to come down to Silvia saying no. I really hope it does end up being like that, because I feel like she deserves the world, and I feel like she deserves better than Chema, if I'm being honest. And I think that everybody that's making the little side conversations about her body and her looks is really cruel. And I hope that when she watches back, she realizes that these people are not her friends, and that she deserves better people around her, because she is gorgeous. Okay, gorgeous. And I will go to bat for her any day, all day, every day, because that's my girl. I love her. I feel like she's so cute, and I love that she's on the show. Like, I absolutely love her energy, and I feel like collectively from all the videos I have seen from people, everyone loves Silvia. They love her energy. She seems like such a kind person, and she's just very like upbeat and bubbly and kind, and it was so unnecessary the way people are treating her. It was just not something that they should have been saying, especially whoever decided to make that comment at her birthday. Like, why would you say that at somebody's birthday? That's a very weird thing to say. But those are my thoughts on Chema and Silvia. I think that she can do better, and I don't know if I like him anymore, if I'm being fair. I think I'm going to need to see the rest of the episodes, and I don't think they're going to end up getting married. But next we have Saul and Leti. So Saul and Leti did not end up, you know, moving on to the apartment part very far. So they're in Tulum. She's obviously expressing that she takes things slower, which is totally fair. And he's frustrated with that a little bit. And she ends up not sleeping in the room with him. And, you know, they end up getting the apartment, and she decides, I'm done. I don't want to move forward with this, and essentially just breaks things off. So we don't see them for the rest of the few episodes until they're at Silvia's birthday, and she's wearing the engagement ring. And she's like, yeah, once the cameras went down, we reconnected at Saul's birthday, which makes me question, like, are they together? Because they didn't continue any of the other episodes. Like, that was it for them when it came to Love is Blind. Like, what happened with them? Like, are we going to see them again? Are we going to get a conclusion on their situation? Because if I'm being fair, I really, really liked her, but I feel like they were just two different people. Like, he wanted a different person and she wanted a different person. And if I'm being completely honest with my feelings, I feel like the reveal just threw me off so much, because he was like practically trying to hook up as soon as the reveal happened. Like, not only, like I mentioned this in my other video, not only are you meeting this person for the very first time, okay, this is like the first time you're meeting this person ever, you are also doing it on camera. So it's a very nerve-wracking moment regardless. And she had already expressed to you that she is more conservative. So for him to try to jump her bones, I was like, oh no, she's gonna dip next episode. Like, I did not foresee them working out. As soon as he did that, I was like, she's not here for it. She's absolutely not here for it. And when they were in Tulum and they were hanging out with everyone, he was like making comments about how essentially she was hurting his feelings because she was taking things slower, and he was obviously drunk. And the next day she kind of confronted him, and he was he kind of made it sound like, hey, like, you should let me know when I'm getting too drunk. And she was like, I'm not your mom. Like, I'm not going to tell you when to stop drinking, which is completely fair. So I'm very curious to see where their relationship goes and if we're going to see anything more of them, because I feel like we kind of got left with no solution between them, but I don't think they're going to be in the rest of the season. So what do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments on what you think is going to happen with them. And then we have Fernando and Geren. So I feel like Geren definitely, you know, she and Fernando, I feel like they're the ones that are going to say yes at the altar. Like if of my list of people who I think is going to say yes, at the top I have Fernando and Geren. So they're in Tulum. Obviously, they're hanging out with everyone. And Fernando tells Geren that he doesn't really appreciate that she smokes cigarettes. And she's kind of like, well, you know, I'm grown. Like essentially like kind of disregarding it. But at the same time, she's like, I get it. But I get where he's coming from, because like sleeping next to someone who smells like cigarettes is not a great thing. Like I don't think a lot of people would like the smell. So I totally get where he's coming from. And, you know, she's obviously nervous about him meeting her family. They move into the apartment together. They go to a barbecue all together, the whole cast, and walks in Rene and Iraís. And I'm just like, damn, okay. So they're going to get to know each other in person. And Iraís had messaged Geren via Messenger. So she was already like, oh shit. And Fernando was like, kind of like curious to see what she looked like, and he even said that Iraís was pretty. So I was like, I don't know, I feel like Geren was like not vibing with that, but she decided to, you know, like have the conversation where she pointed out, she was like, Rene and Iraís are not like what is this, kind of like, this is not, you did not fuck with him like that, like why are you here with him? And obviously, you know, I feel like everybody was thinking it. Geren just said it. If we're being real, I think Geren just really was like, fuck it, I'm gonna say what everybody's thinking. Because I mean, I can't lie to you guys, I was thinking that too. Like, why did they reconnect? Like, in the same episode, we had seen Iraís and Rene where they had not made it to Tulum. They were not together in Tulum with the rest of the cast because they did not continue the experiment because there was no connection. But then she ended up reaching out to him and they decided to connect and continue, which I feel like she did not want him. So I don't know why they decided to continue, but, you know, it is what it is. Maybe she does really want him, but I still don't 100% feel like she really wants him. I just feel like she wants to be on the show. To be honest. So then we're having, you know, the conversation between Iraís, Geren, Fernando, and Rene in front of everyone. And everyone's like, oh shit, like Geren is really calling it out. And then they have a conversation, just them four. And she like goes in. She's like, you know, kind of like questioning the relationship. And then she's like, to Rene, she's like, I like you. And then to Iraís, she's like, I don't like you. And you know what? Like, I think that moment probably wasn't, you know, the best way to say it, but she kept it real because that's how she felt. And at the end of the day, like, I think she questions Iraís's intentions because she really was all about Fernando. Like, Rene and Iraís only had a few dates, as in like they spend time apart in between each date. Like when her and Fernando, Iraís and Fernando were really like becoming more, you know, into each other, she was not hanging out with Rene. She was not getting to know him in the pod. So it was like she kind of like went back after it didn't work out Fernando. So like Geren is like, she saw that from her perspective as somebody who was like in the pods with the girls and seeing how Iraís was only talking about Fernando. So I was like, damn, she clocked her. I was like, she really truly clocked her. But then, you know, is it her place to say something? I don't know. But I thought the mess was good. I feel like Geren clocked in. She was like, I'm getting paid to be on a reality TV show. I'm going to say my feelings. And also her feelings were fair because I do think the way she was thinking was valid. But I don't think Iraís liked it, obviously, because, you know, who would like getting called out in a group setting like that and also on camera. Geren and Iraís are definitely, you know, really into each other. They get to know each other's families and things are going relatively well. He meets her daughter, which I thought was a very cute moment. I totally understand where she's coming from in the sense like she wants her daughter to feel, you know, like she's loved and it won't be like a tumultuous relationship, especially through the things that she has already gone through. And at the very end of what their portion was, you see that Geren is upset with Fernando because apparently like an ex had reached out to him, which makes me question like how compatible they really are. But I do think they are going to end up saying yes to each other. I really do think that they're going to end up getting married, but you know, it remains to be seen. I feel like every time I predict who's going to get married when it comes to this kind of stuff, like the next episode, I'm like, actually, maybe that wasn't the real thought because I don't see them getting married. Like, you know what I mean? But as of right now, as of episodes 5 through 8, I could see them getting married. And bringing it back to Rene and Iraís. So Rene and Iraís did not obviously go to Tulum with everyone after the reveal. It ended up being that there was no connection, but Rene ended up being reached out to by Iraís. They went and sat down and continued with everything. They ended up going to the barbecue. They met everybody. They had that confrontation with Geren and with Fernando. Obviously not ideal, but I don't know. I don't think that Iraís really likes Rene. I feel like she just kind of wanted to go through with the experiment. And a part of me was like, did she really just want to see what Fernando looked like? I don't know. Maybe that's a crazy feeling. But so they start to meet the families. I feel like Iraís's family was really sweet and nice. I really liked their interaction with Rene. I thought that was really like, it was really wholesome. But then we see Iraís meet his family. And that's when I was like, I feel like every season there's like an interaction that makes you like want to like crawl into a hole a little bit, and this was the one for me because I feel like it was very intense. So we meet Rene's mom, dad, and sisters, and I feel like
it was giving boy mom and pick me sisters, if I'm being real. Like, they were very
pouncy on Iraís. Like, they were, I almost felt like, I don't know, like they were obviously like that's their family and they want to be protective, and I totally get that, but it really did give like he's ours, you know what I mean? Like the fact that like Iraís had mentioned that she didn't want to date someone that drinks heavy, the sisters were like, well, you're not going to change him, like you're not going to change him, you know what I mean? And it was just, I feel like it was a very uncomfortable like situation. The meetup was very uncomfortable. I felt like the sisters were not down for it, the mom was not down for it, and the dad was not down for it. But it could also be on the other side of the spectrum, the fact that, you know, when they had the reveal, she obviously didn't like him. So they could be apprehensive to the fact that she reached out. So I could see that too. Now that I'm thinking about it, like it could be that as well. So can we really blame them for being apprehensive about Iraís? Because I feel like Iraís and Rene, there's no way. They're not going to say yes. There's literally not a single chance in hell that either of these are going to say yes at the altar, if I'm being honest. I don't think they're going to say yes at all. I think that they're going to walk away from each other, and they're not going to date after either, because, you know, sometimes they'll walk away from the altar and date, but these two are going to go their separate ways, and they're not going to be together anymore. But I do have to say that interaction was very uncomfortable to see. I was like, damn, you know, on camera, like you could feel the thickness in the air in the conversation. Like, yes, they ended up cheersing and being like, we're so excited for you guys, but like, are they? And then the sister was like, I don't know if I'm going to show up to the wedding. Like, that's going to create tension. So I thought it was uncomfortable. I thought it was awkward, but it kind of makes sense on both sides. Like, I could see it being like, okay, they're being too much. And also them being like, actually, you know, like he kind of got played by her already. Like, we're going to be, you know, apprehensive of it. But, you know, well, I guess it remains to be seen. Like, if they end up getting married, I'm going to be full on shocked because they don't seem compatible to me at all. But next we have Fernanda and Gerardo. When we first started the Love is Blind Mexico, I was like, these two are so cute. Once they got engaged, I was like, these are two are endgame. They're the series like couple. They're the Lauren and Cameron of the season. They're the ones that are going to get married no matter what. The ones that we don't have to worry about. But the more the season went on, the new episodes kind of made me see a new side of Fernanda, if I'm being real with you guys. Like, I really, really liked her at first until she made that comment when they were like in the cave about Silvia. And I was like, okay, what is the issue? Why are you bringing that up? And then she got mad at Gerardo for going to sleep without saying goodnight, which I thought was a little too much. Like, she was like kind of really mean to him. And I was like, okay, I don't think he went out of his way to not say goodnight to you. I think he just fell asleep. You know what I mean? And I don't know, like when they were rock climbing, she was also mean to him a little bit. And at first I thought that they were like made for each other. And now I'm like, I actually don't think I like her, if we're being honest. And I really need to know what happened between Silvia and Fernanda for Fernanda to not go to Silvia's birthday party. Like, that was like so weird. Like, it was so random that she decided not to go. I was like, what happened? Like, we skipped 3 chapters of this.
I truly wish
there was like some sort of explanation of why she decided not to go. Like, it was just kind of off-putting. We met, you know, her family, his family, her friends, and I thought that was all good and dandy. I feel like everybody's family meetups were pretty good, except for obviously Rene and Iraís. But I don't know, I just felt like they were such a strong couple at the beginning, and then you kind of start to see like the cracks in their relationship, and I feel like he's starting to see the cracks in the relationship. I feel like she's kind of mean to him, if I'm being real. Like, I feel like she's kind of mean to him, and I think he's starting to notice that. And at first it would have been a hell yes, I think that they're gonna get married, but now they're kind of like a maybe. Like, they're gonna be that couple that like, I think he's gonna say no. I think she's gonna say yes and he's gonna say no. And if he ends up saying yes, then maybe she'll say no. But I don't think they're gonna get married. Like, I don't know. Me dio como cosita when she was being mean to him. Like, when she was mad at him because of the rock climbing thing, I was like, okay, it is not that serious. You know what I mean? And maybe like people who like love to work out like take that stuff seriously. But I feel like it wasn't, you know, like it wasn't that deep, and she was so mad about it. And then the whole like going to bed. But I mean, again, not to, you know, take away from her feelings, because she's allowed to feel whatever the fuck she wants to feel. But like, in my thoughts and opinion, I thought it was a little mean, bitch. I was like, okay, well, I feel like he's trying his best. And I feel like out of all the guys, Gerardo's pretty nice. Like, I feel like he's like a really nice dude. So it just threw me off a little bit. I was like, okay, well. And she also said she didn't feel considered in different areas, implying sex too. So I was like, maybe there's more than meets the eye here, because obviously we're only seeing a small portion of what's being filmed. And that's why I want like every inch of what they're recording, because I want to know what the real tea, because there's always like missing tea in each season. Like, ¿qué pasó con Silvia and con Fernanda? I need to know. Like, why wouldn't she show up for the birthday? Like, I feel like, you know, he was kind of hurt. He was like, every time I go with my friends, I'm always the single one. And now I feel like the single one, even though I'm in a relationship. I don't know, there was something there, you know, and they got into a fight about it before he went, because she was like, I'm not going. So I don't know, there's more to it. There's more to it. And I need to know what happened there. And then now we have Willie and Franchesca. So they were very, I feel like, hardly shown during the pods, if we're being honest. Like, we did not see much of their love story. I feel like we really didn't get to know them until episodes 5 through 8. And overall, I really like them together, except for the fact that Willie is very hesitant to marry Franchesca. And I can see that she's starting to get like nervous about it. Like, she's very sure about him and he's very apprehensive. And of course, you don't want to marry someone that doesn't want to marry you. But at the same time, this process is very quick. Like, it is not like 6, 8, 9, a year, right? It's not 6 and 9 months. It's a whole 3 weeks of like being with someone and then getting married. That's like a very quick process. So I can understand where he's coming from. And I don't know, like, I definitely think that he's getting cold feet. Like, once he found out when that date was to get married, he was like, fuck, I gotta marry her. Like, this is actually happening. This is not like not happening. Like, this is an actual thing that's happening in reality. And, you know, we met his friends and they were very nice, and I feel like they're rooting for him. And we met her family, which was, I thought they were so nice. And then we met his family as well, and she handled herself very well with his family. I feel like she has a really good head on her shoulders. But I know that we have a preview of the next set of episodes where she's very angry. So I don't know, you guys, this one is also a toss-up for me. I feel like I don't have a solid yes for any of the couples when it comes to the altar, which is kind of crazy, because I feel like every season there's like that one couple that I'm like, fuck yeah, they're gonna get married. But this season, I don't think so. I think that's everyone. We went through everyone. Okay, we went through everyone. Oh my god, okay. I know this was super chaotic, but I really appreciate you watching my video. I'm so excited to keep doing these. Like, it's usually very chaotic thoughts, because like I write everything down, but I'm just like thinking of random things as I'm recording these, because like I feel like these episodes, they have a lot in them. Like, usually in the USA version, I feel like there's like a little bit of snooze time between like each episode, but these are just like, there's so much packed in them. And I am loving Love is Blind Mexico. Like, I need 10 more seasons of this. Like, I understand that the USA version is like more promoted and more, you know, watched, but I feel like this one is such good tea. And it's really good because I feel like the couples are, you know, older. I feel like it was a really good idea to bring people who are in their late 20s and early 30s. And like I mentioned in my last video, I would love to see a Love is Blind edition where they're like in their 40s and 50s. Like, I feel like that would be actually like such good reality TV. But I'm giving it so far a 9 out of 10. Like, I really like Love is Blind Mexico. I cannot wait to see the next batch of episodes, and I would love to know your thoughts in the comment section. And once again, thank you so much for, you know, staying tuned with my chaotic thoughts. I know I'm all over the place, but next time I will definitely be more organized, because I feel like this one was a little more chaotic than the last one. But like always, let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.